C. William Gaylord III.
Substituting for.
For Howard Joe Bell.
All right, as I said earlier, since there are people here from I believe it's the Valley Stream community, I'm not too sure, could be from others, but there is an item. There is an item. Mr. Becker, please. Mr. Becker, please bring it outside. I'd like to move on. Now, I am going to call this item out of order. In all due respect for you who have been sitting there for a while, thinking that this would be the opportunity for you to speak regarding the Green Acres pilot program. Now, we call the item. We have someone to explain the item, and then I will call for public comment after the legislators have had an opportunity to question the individual who will be talking in regard to this item. And the item is 54016, a local law to authorize a voluntary partial amnesty program for income-producing property owners that are liable to pay fines pursuant to the Nassau County Administrative Code. All right, motion please. Moved by legislator Dunn, seconded by legislator Gaylor. All right, now, who do we have to speak on this item? Mr. Becker, I'm sorry. No, not yet. I know. You'll get your turn. Trust me, you will.
Madam Chair, I'm caught a little off guard with this. This is sponsored by the legislature, correct? And we should have someone here from the assessment department?
That's right, and the county attorney's office.
Thank you.
All right, what I'm going to do, can we get someone from assessment, please,
Yes,
here?
yes, Madam Chair.
And at this time, then I'm going to give the public an opportunity.
That would be fine.
To speak. And young lady, yes, you may. I hope you have a slip-in. What's your name?
Just press that red
Hold
button.
on.
Press that
What
red
is your
button.
name?
Press the red button.
Press the red button, somebody.
Barbara Stein.
Do you have a slip-in?
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to see. Oh, I hope you're right.
Barbara Stein.
Barbara Stein.
Yes.
I'm looking.
It's there.
Whoop. Oh, but you can speak, but just, I want you to put in a slip after you speak. Because I don't have,
It was turned in, these women have it. Anyway, Valley Stream is a diverse community. We're very strong. We have Muslims, we have Hispanics, we have blacks, Chinese, white people, and we all pay our taxes, and we are very concerned that because of a committee that apparently went out of bounds and did their actions not transparently for the community, but now they're jeopardizing our homes, our school district, our children, and not even for just 1 year, for a possibility of 15 years. All so that some stores can sell goods to some other people who don't even live in our community. So I would address whoever needs to be addressed to see if they can rectify this matter and not tear apart our community and cause people to lose their homes, not pay their mortgages, and children go by the wayside.
Thank you.
thank you, Barbara. I have Jill Kaplan. Yes?
Yes. Good afternoon. I am here in person, and I also have emails and letters from my neighbors and friends who were not able to be here with me. I would like to speak about the proposed $105 and extra fees on top of that for moving violations.
I'm sorry, Jill Kaplan, this is not the portion, this is not the
I
time
was
to address
told-
that issue.
I'm sorry.
This is specifically regarding section, excuse me, item.
54016?
Yes.
A representative from, with all due respect, from Mr. Abrams' office told me that that was where I was supposed to speak. So is there another time?
Okay,
Okay.
you said 54016 was the...
54016?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We feel that this additional fee that is coming out of nowhere is not only outrageous, but it is offensive to people who live in these communities. If we are going to go to the library with our kids and you end up staying an extra 5 minutes, you come out and you have a $200 parking ticket to address. Are you kidding me? These fees, if there is a gap that needs to be filled, and we do understand that there are reasons why this has happened, we do not accept them, but we understand that they are there. If you're concerned about revenue and loss of revenue, what happens when stores close because people don't shop, people don't go? I never go to Rockville Center anymore because of those Muni meters. I live in Freeport. I have neighbors who live in Baldwin who say, I know how great the Freeport Library is, but you guys have those Muni meters there, I don't go. I would rather go to an inferior library in a neighboring community than have to pay for those meters. This is not about the meters, this is what happens after the meters expire. This happens when you go through one of those red light money grabbing ticket things, and all of a sudden now it's $300 for those. Instead of all of these ways of gotcha and trying to sneak up on people who live here and make us want to leave and frustrate us, there are alternatives. I'm just curious if anybody on the legislative branch up there, if you guys know how many households there are in Nassau County. Could somebody tell me?
400,000.
Say this?
400,000.
Correct. Well, that was what I got, 443. So if each person, each one of those households paid $50, which is a lot less than these crazy tickets that you're trying to give out, it would come to $23 million, which is not going to fill your budget gap totally, but it shouldn't. It should not be only on our shoulders. If there was some kind of oversight where we started to discover how much do people pay when they take people out to lunch? What's your budget for that? What's your budget? How many times do you have to refill your staples and your Post-its because those are disappearing? And what are you paying for that?
Wrap it up.
I'm wrapping it up by saying that it is a community, so it's a community effort, and that if we are willing to go a little bit, not hundreds of dollars every single time, and maybe you guys were able to find little gaps in the budget there, that maybe together we could find a solution. I would like to know where I am supposed to deliver these so that they will be part of the record as well.
Give it to the clerk.
Thank you.
Madam President, Officer, may I respond, Ms. Kaplan?
Please.
How are you, Ms. Kaplan?
Hi.
Good. I wanted to let you know, I mean, you might have missed our last legislative meeting where the budget was discussed on the 31st last week.
Yes, I did. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay, but at that time, as you well know, the budget for the county passed. It passed also with the revenue for the public safety fee in it. However, the revenue item did not pass. The actual public safety fee did not pass. As you may not know, or may or may not know, our side, the legislative minority Democrats in the legislature, have not supported the fee. We feel for the same reasons that you have highlighted today. We have pushed our colleagues to the right, the legislative majority, to at least call the vote, because we would like to see where they stand in regards to this issue. It is my fear that you will not see that vote called today. You will not see it until after Election Day, because they do not want to hurt their colleagues in state and federal government over this issue. That being said, as I said before during the budget meeting and before that, we have to push my colleagues to the right to call the vote. That's the only way this goes away, folks. It doesn't go away on its own. There's revenue that's tied to this item, $60 million plus that's tied to the budget that's already been passed. The only way we get them to remove the revenue out of the budget is by them calling the public safety fee item today, and we vote it down today. I can speak for our side. We have votes that are ready to vote that fee down. I can't say that for their side. But thank you, Ms. Kaplan, for coming
And
down.
Okay, thank you
can I
very
just
much.
ask how the
No.
process goes? How is it determined, Ms. Gonzalez? How is it
How is it
determined
determined?
whether or not it's voted on
With due
today?
diligence on our part to find alternatives to the public safety fee. And
And so do
that's
you-
exactly what we're doing right now.
Okay, so
Okay,
do you
thank
take
you very
things
much.
like
And
this
I
into
think that's what
consideration?
you were saying.
To take these into consideration as well?
Okay,
Thank
give
you.
it to the clerk.
Great, thank you very much for your time.
Theodora? Theodora, would you please say your last name?
Sure, good afternoon. It's Theodora Buchelam. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Theodora Buchelam. I'm an administrative law judge in Brooklyn. I took the day off today because of the importance of the matter before us, specifically the sweetheart deal that was granted to Green Acres Mall on the behalf and on the backs of the ordinary residents of Millbrook. Last Monday, it is my understanding that those of you seated before me did not approve to table the tax rolls. You have the power to reconsider and amend the tax rolls that are inaccurate based on a flawed Green Acres pilot. I understand that the flaw is as a result of not adding both the school district and the resident taxes together. The youngest victims are the children of the school districts, Valley Stream Central High School District, District 13, 24, and 30. The victims are also the senior citizens, many of whom I met today, my neighbors, and also are those families who've moved into Millbrook because it was a place to raise young children. On the news today, we hear so much about the national elections, and it's been stated that New York Senate is going to change rapidly, and leading that change is Nassau County. If you look around in this room, you'll see people who've never stood before you before. You've awoken a sleeping giant. Voters like myself who've always paid taxes, who've always done the right thing, and who've always trusted that our elected officials will do right by us. When I heard from my representative, Mr. Karis Lodges, that a tax roll had been granted and a pilot had been given to Green Acres Mall without my having the opportunity to be heard, I was appalled. And I stand here before you today to let you know that while we may have the voting power, you also have the legal and the moral authority to do the right thing. So I'm not shouting. The time for that will come. But today, I am humbly requesting that you do the right thing, that you reconsider and reassess the tax roll so that it's fair and equitable, not only for the senior citizens, not only for myself, but for the young people who are just beginning their lives as American citizens. Thank you very much in advance.
I would like to first thank the presiding officer for allowing us for this item to be advanced so that we can discuss this issue. I thank the presiding officer and also thank my colleague who represents the other half of Valley Stream, Mr. William Gaylor. Thank you very much. Today we had a press conference on the steps of this beautiful building in which we asked respectfully that the assessor start a petition to restore the omitted property, Green Acres Mall, back onto the tax roll. Also asking for the Assessment Review Commission to recommend the restoration of that property on the tax roll. And finally, the third step would be for this legislative body to approve of those efforts. These are the legal efforts as well as the IDA reversing its decision in order to correct this issue. I also have reached out to the Independent Office of Budget Review, and that office provided to me a report, which I will provide to my colleagues today, that in essence is a community impact study. This is a sort of impact study that should have been done in the first place before this pilot was granted. And if you read this report, it shows you that Green Acres Bowl is not only not paying $6 million in taxes this year, but they're going to do that for the next 15 years, and that adds to a grand total of $59.9 million. As a result, the Class 1 property classifications in Valley Stream, residential properties, are now paying a 17% increase, as opposed to the Class 4, which are commercial properties that are paying less, 19% less. As a result, as on the third page of this report you will see, several different entities in Nassau County will now ask for more in taxes. For example, according to this report, the school district, District 30, the high school and the schools will be asking for a 17.2% increase. The town of Hempstead will be asking for a 1.9% increase. The library district, 0.3%. The town of Hempstead lighting district, 3.6% increase. A town of Hempstead park district will ask for a 3.8% increase. So by changing the base proportional share of taxes due in Valley Stream, this is going to have a aggregate effect upon all of the taxing districts. So we have only seen the beginning of this financial storm. And I will provide this report to my colleagues so that they can review it in their consideration of reviewing the tax roll. Thank you.